This is problem 11 on our review. Another data table similar to the last one, but this one asks, here's a group of students. They're given a survey about whether they have a credit card. If a student is selected at random, find the probability that he or she owns a credit card given that the student is a sophomore. And we will calculate that the same way. But first things first, let me get my data table here. So we have, let's see, the class the student is in. And that's either freshman or sophomore. And we have whether the student carries a credit card or no credit card. And then we'll run some totals here and also this direction here. So this data table tells us that 28 freshmen have a credit card, 7 do not. That gives us the total credit card holders when we add down of 35. No credit cards, freshmen, 32 do not have credit cards, 33 do. 33 sophomores don't have credit cards, so the total students that do not have credit cards, 65. If we add across, we find out we have 60 freshmen in the survey, 40 sophomores, 100 total. When we add this way and add this way, we should get the same number, and we do, 100 total. And we're asked to find what's the probability that a student owns a credit card given they are a sophomore. So credit card given sophomore. And we know from our formula of conditional probability that this is the probability of being both a sophomore and having a credit card divided by the probability of being a sophomore. And it matters what's in the bottom. It matters. This order here matters. If you do it the opposite way, you're going to get a completely different answer. So it's very important to be careful. These problems can be a little confusing, but conditional probability is important. There is, if you're looking at this from home and you want to see a good, perfect example of conditional probability, there is a video in this module about lie detector tests and probability and how we get so many false positives for lie detector tests. And his calculation explains it from a conditional probability standpoint. So it's important to understand. So that's a great application for life in case you ever find yourself with an option of taking a lie detector test. You may want to look at that video first and understand the conditional probability first, and then decide whether or not you want to take that lie detector test, especially if you're innocent. But anyway, what's the probability of being a sophomore and having a credit card? Let's see, we find those people right here. 7 sophomores have credit cards. We could write that over 100, but we know those hundreds are just going to cancel out anyway, so I'm going to save myself a step. Denominator here says what's the probability of being a sophomore, and remember that this is just asking what the probability of being a sophomore is, how many sophomores we have. Does not say anything about credit cards for this part of the problem. So how many sophomores were in the survey? Those are right there. 7/40. So if we wrote this as a decimal, we would get 0.175. So the probability of having a credit card given the student is a sophomore is 0.175.